What's going on, people? We're live. I'm trying to get more consistent with these lives. So apologies for not doing it on Thursday. Something came up, but I thought, you know what, we're going to do it on Sunday. Old school Sunday. Hello to everyone in the live. Again, thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening with me. I really appreciate it. I know there are other channels doing their things as well, but come on. I mean, this is ADELEYE, you know what I mean? Great night of boxing, by the way. Great night. Well done to Queensbury for their magnificent 7 card. Well done to Matchroom on their card in Puerto Rico. A couple of upsets on that card that we'll talk about. Top Rank had a card as well. Navarrete proving too big, too strong for Oscar Valdez. We'll talk about what next for Valdez. I'm very, very keen on talking about what next for Lawrence OKOLIE. Obviously, this was his heavyweight debut. I don't know what everyone expected. I thought he came in too heavy, but he blew that guy out in 1 round, as did David ADELEYE. We'll talk about him as well. We'll talk about Denzel Bentley. Big win for him against Brad Pauls. We now 100% know the February 22nd card, so we can talk about that. What I'm trying to say, guys, is there is a lot to talk about, and we're going to get stuck straight into it for the next hour, hour and a half, right? We'll go on until I get tired. Basically, that's how long we're going to go for. I fly out on Friday evening, I think, or Saturday morning to Monaco. Obviously, Matchroom, I got that card. And then I go to Saudi Sunday morning for the big one. Fury versus Usyk 2, the big one. What an end to a year. Like, it's been such a crazy, frantic, busy, but good year for boxing. You think of what we had this year. We had Bivol Beterbiev undisputed, Fury Usyk undisputed. You know, we had some good stuff this year. We all want more. Obviously, we want more. Like, we should have seen GERVONTA Shakur, but it is what it is. We've had a good year, and I feel like I'm blessed to have been part of it in some way, shape, or form. All right, let's get straight to the questions. Guys, loads of questions are going to come in, hundreds. So if you're watching this right now, you want to get a question in, type it in quickly because it's going to get pretty busy, I think. My laptop sounds like it's about to fucking fly. All right, Julius Day. Ade, big fan of the channel and your work. Do you know where or what has happened to Chris Andre boxing? You spoke very highly of him. I did. I don't. If I'm honest with you, I don't know what's happened with Chris. I think I've got his number. I'll check after we've done this live. If I have, I'll check in on him just to make sure he's okay. Like, some people just take a break from this. Like, the constant doing videos and, you know, getting sometimes negative feedback can take it out on you. So I think maybe he's just decided, let me just press pause for a little while, recharge the batteries, and then come back. Sporty Sport says, Ade, thanks for the content. Thank you for watching and getting back on the live streams. With the Canelo Bud rumors, what percentage chance do you think it happens this May? Assume 168. Will Bud ask for a rehydration clause? Okay. Percentage chance it happens in May, 50-50. 50-50. Bud said, and he's spoken a few times now to people, I think he's out in Dubai at the moment, and he said, look, this is going to be a big one that I come back to. So I'm expecting a big fight for Bud, number one. But Canelo hasn't spoken to Turkey. I spoke to Turkey the other day. You guys know Turkey said he hasn't spoken to Canelo, so that's why I say 50-50. 168 pounds, absolutely. Canelo's not going to cut weight for Bud. Rehydration clause, no chance. No chance. Bud is most definitely the B-side in this. Like, this is Bud. Bud wants Canelo. Canelo doesn't want Bud. So Bud's going to have to do what Canelo says, basically. And there is no way Canelo's going to let Bud have a rehydration clause. Absolutely no way. No chance. William Jones. Boots 100% ducked Virgil Ortiz. Look, Boots is my guy, but this isn't looking good. Come on, it's not looking good. And I see Boots has done a few videos recently, kind of explaining the situation. Look, whether or not you guys believe it or not, at least he's come out and spoke. It just doesn't look great. It doesn't. I mean, he's spoken about wanting to go to 154 pounds. Look, if he had never spoken about 154, and then this was put to him, you can kind of say, okay, no, I've never spoken about 154. I want to stay at 147. I want to unify. The fact he has spoken about 154 pounds, and the fact it was his last fight he spoke about it right after, and then you get an opportunity to fight Virgil at 154, and you're going to make great money because, let's be honest, he's going to get paid well, and you don't entertain that fight, it don't look great. It don't look great. The one thing I will say in trying to stick up for Boots is that I think Boots would have wanted another month. Like, I think the turnaround might be too much for Boots. I think Boots would have wanted another month, but it don't look great at all. I will say this, though. I think Virgil's got a tougher fight against Madrimov than the Boots fight. I really do believe that. I think Madrimov, I would actually make Madrimov favorite to beat Virgil right now. I do. Let's not forget how Virgil looked against Boychuk, and I think Madrimov's better than Boychuk. So, man, it's going to be a tough one. Ade, did you see an interview with Joe Joyce at last night's fight? I hate to say it, but he wasn't making any sense when he was talking. Oh, boy. I haven't seen it. I almost don't want to see it. I remember the interview he did with my boy JD ringside for AJ Dubois, and that was bad. I mean, you kind of knew this was coming. I mean, he takes far too many shots. Far too many. Yes, it's not. It's the side of the sport that we know we don't like. I mean, we all like boxing, hence why we're all big fans of it, while we're all on the live right now. But we also know there's the other side of boxing, which not many people talk about, and it's this side. Like, the punishment these fighters take and what it does to them is the ugly side of boxing, but it's part and parcel of the sport. And Joe Joyce, unfortunately, has taken a lot of punishment. He wants to fight again. Joe Joyce wants to fight. And if any doctor gives him the green tick, because you know he has to apply for his license, so he has to do medical tests, there's no way Joe Joyce should pass the test, I don't think. Just my own opinion. I just think he's taken too much punishment, and I think we need to kind of protect these fighters now from themselves, because these fighters will continue fighting. They don't care. They'll continue fighting because they are warriors. We need to help them and protect them. That's what I think. Okay, it's a good one. Dylan Goodridge, a super chat. Appreciate it very much, my man. Says, thoughts on potential Wardley OKOLIE eliminator. You'd make Wardley a favorite, but I mean, OKOLIE's a big boy who can punch. I mean, I think we saw that yesterday. Look, I know that his opponent wasn't great, but he's a big boy. He's experienced, obviously a lot more experienced than Fabio Wardley, who, let's not forget, had no amateur record. But Wardley right now is hot. Like, Wardley right now is hot. What he did to Fraser Clark was crazy. So you'd make Wardley a favorite, but it's a good fight. It's a good fight. What fights do you recommend most in the modern era? You know what I watched the other day and I thought was underrated as a good fight? Stylistically, it kind of worked. Andre Ward Kovalev won. Number 2 was trash. Number 1 was very, very good. Gennady Golovkin Canelo won. Jesus. Now that there was a fight. Great fight. Marcus Maidana, Amir Khan. It's a great fight. Amir Khan dropped Maidana with the body shot. He thought, okay, this is going to be easy work. And then Maidana puts it on him. Amir Khan survives. It's back and forth. Another great fight. Amir Khan, people need to put a bit of respect on Amir Khan's name. You know, that guy entertained us as Brits for years. All right, where are we? Let's go here. Georgina Griffiths says, hi, Ade, I'm a subscriber of 5 years. Wow. I love seeing your growth. My question is, if Dubois beats Parker, then beats Fury or AJ, where would you rank him in this generation of heavyweights? I mean, there's a lot of ifs there, but he's done a lot of that work already. I mean, Dubois is favorite to beat Joseph Parker. Jeez, where would I rank him? You know what? Forget the if he beats Fury thing. Let's just, if he beats Parker, so he would have beaten Miller, Hrgovic, AJ, Parker. It's above Wilder. I mean, it's above Wilder. You'd have Usyk as number 1. You'd have Fury. You'd have AJ, and then you'd have Dubois. Have I missed anyone? It's certainly above Wilder. I don't want to hear it. I'm not saying Dubois would have beaten peak Wilder, but just in terms of resume, AJ, potentially Parker, Miller, Hrgovic is better than anything Deontay Wilder's done. Am I lying here? I think that's the case. I know there's some of you that are going to say if he beats Parker, maybe his resume is better than AJ. I know some of you are going to say I don't agree with that, but I mean, I can understand the argument. I could. Oh, here we go. What's this one? Henrik 180 says, in your last video, you said that Zhang will beat Caballero. Did I say that? I say a lot of things and I forget. I tell you now. I tell you now that he will surprise you again. Maybe. Look, it's a close fight. I said when that card came out, I said, look, all the fights are 50-50, barring Floyd Schofield, Shakur Stevenson. So I might change my mind again. I mean, I like Caballero a lot. I just think that Zhang is so much bigger. Technically, he's very good as well, Zhang. He closes the distance down. He makes you work. His gas tank's a problem. But if he's sorted that gas tank out, I don't know if you can. What's he, 40, 41? But if he has, then I think he will beat Caballero. But I'm happy to be proven wrong because I like Caballero. I think he's a good guy. Stephen Toll says, hi, Ade, hope you're well. Old school fight question. A fight that never happened. Who do you think would win in their prime? Julian Jackson versus a prime Nigel Benn. Julian Jackson. I mean, I love Nigel. You guys know I love Nigel, the Dark Destroyer. I will say this, though. If Jackson hurts Nigel, that's when Nigel turns into a bit of a killer. Like, Nigel was the most dangerous fighter when hurt. Because when hurt, he just wants to kill. He's a bit like Fabio Wardley, you know. There's a comparison there. Because when Fabio gets hurt, Fabio, because there's no amateur background, he almost doesn't know what to do. Fabio just wants to fight back. And that's Nigel. You look at Nigel's fights in the 90s when he is hurt and he's on the ropes. That's when he's most dangerous. But Julian Jackson was a killer. But then again, this is a Nigel Benn that beat Gerald McClellan. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, you could never rule Nigel out of any fight. A couple of super chats have just come in, so I'm going to quickly read them. What's this one? My guy, King OP the Great, says, can we please kill the real boxer phrase? Jake Paul is a real boxer, just not elite. No different than fighters like Dorian Darch, AJ victim. No, I will say this. Jake Paul is a real boxer. You are, I think, is that what you're trying to say? If that's what you're trying to say, I agree with you. Like, whether or not, that, like, there's a list of boxers. Like, they're all real in that list. Some are elite, some are not elite, some are world level, some are southern area. Like, Jake Paul is a real boxer. He fights, he trains, he's a real boxer. But you're right, he's not an elite boxer by any stretch of the imagination. I actually don't think Jake Paul's that bad for boxing. I don't think he's that bad for boxing. And you can only ask the fighters that fight underneath or on his cards. Like, I speak to quite a few of those fighters, and they're happy with Jake Paul. They're happy with what Jake Paul's done for the sport. They realize that if Jake Paul wasn't fighting Mike Tyson in that clown show, they wouldn't be on that card, wouldn't be getting paid career high paydays. Jake Paul's not the worst for boxing. I mean, there's so many other people that do so much shit wrong with the sport of boxing. Jake Paul is the least of my worries when it comes to boxing. Let's not forget the 10 defenses of Wilder. Cheers from the US. Ryan Robertson. Ryan, appreciate the super chat. Yeah, there were 10 defenses, Ryan, but like, you know, I will give Wilder credit for the Luis Ortiz one, the first Luis Ortiz fight, even though watching it back, do you remember I think there was an issue in one of the rounds. I can't remember what it was, but I give him credit for that. The others, you know, I mean, mate, this run that Dubois on right now is, mate, honestly, again, he wasn't on the bookies underdog against Miller, but I think a lot of people thought Jarrell Miller would get to him. He was certainly underdog against Hrgovic, certainly underdog against AJ, and he's knocking people out. He's like, mate, I think we need to look at Dubois. If Dubois beats Parker, that conversation about where Dubois ranks needs to be had, because Dubois, I think it's above Wilder, but that's just my fault. Maybe I'm being a bit biased to my fellow Brit. I don't know. All right, where are we? 2 seconds, just trying to get it back in order. Ade, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking of starting a boxing channel? I'd love to do news and reviews like you, G-Man and Hatman, but it seems like it's not an overnight success. No, it's not an overnight success at all. Just do it because you enjoy it. Like, when I started doing this, it was because I enjoyed it. Obviously, I've got a little fancy mic now and got all bloody cameras, but most time I just did it with my phone. I put this on a tripod and just recorded. Sound wasn't great, but obviously visual was okay. Do it because you enjoy it. You're not going to get thousands of views. Well, you might be one of those people that just break through, but ultimately just have fun with it. And then eventually, once you start having fun with it, views will start coming. A little bit of money starts coming as well, but you've just got to start. Everyone like talks about doing it, and I'm like, just start. Just start. It's not going to look great. You're not going to have all the fucking fancy lighting, but just start. And eventually it will be good. I promise you. Ade, my nephew, watches your channel with me sometimes. Can you give him a shout out? His name is Alex. Alex, thank you for watching the channel. I appreciate it. Honestly, it means a lot. It means a lot to everyone that watches this channel, but especially Alex that watches it. Appreciate it, brother. Hi, Ade. Joe Joyce said he is coming back. What do you think he would do? I remember you and G-Man did a video together on Joe Joyce a while back, and you both didn't like the fact he was gaining weight. No, I don't want to see him fight again. I just said it. And look, you know, when you say these things, most times boxers get upset. You see them and they're like, Ade, don't you dare speak to about. I get it a bit. I don't care. I will say what I want, and I don't want to see Joe Joyce fight again. Like, you know, even when Joe Joyce was winning, I was like, my God, this is so dangerous. When he was winning. So when he was getting all those fantastic knockouts, I was like, this guy is getting hit way too much. And I'm talking getting hit by big 19-stone guys, hit clean. And even then I was like, okay, no, this is too much. Now he's lost a couple. I'm like, I almost feel justified in saying I definitely don't want to see him fight again because I care for his health. I care for his long-term health. And sometimes I wonder if these promoters care as much as I do. Reese Cooper. Yes, Addy, loving the Sunday sessions live. Yeah, we're back. We're back on the Sunday sessions, people. Maybe. I don't know. I'll probably go back to Thursdays. Sam Parker. I'm not sold on Ben Whittaker yet. I actually think you should put your stock into Vidal Riley for British boxing. I have. I think I did a video maybe a couple of months ago saying, or maybe it might have been a tweet. I can't remember. I said my 4 guys that I think are going to be the next sort of stars of British boxing. I did say Ben. I said Vidal. I said Moses. And I think I might have said Dalton Smith. I think I said Dalton Smith, who I think these guys are going to go and do some good stuff. So I've got a lot of hope for Vidal Riley. I just want to see him a bit more busier. But I still have faith in Ben. I mean, you can have an off night. You can. I mean, every boxer's had an off night. He got away with having an off night because ultimately there's no L in the column when it comes to win or loss for Ben. But I think he's going to come back, and I think he should go straight to the Liam Cameron fight. And let's see. And then we can sort of pass judgment. But I still have faith in him. Even though, let's just talk about this fabulous card for February 22nd. I still look at the picture to confirm it to myself. Scary. Honestly, guys, like, I think when we did the live last week, it hadn't been confirmed. Obviously, it's confirmed now. It's the greatest fight card there's ever been. It's the greatest fight card it's ever been. I know there'll be some old heads that will say, Ade, shut up. And, you know, Don King did this and Don King did that. Don King didn't have a fight the quality of Callum Smith and Joshua Boatsi walking first. That's going to walk first, by the way. I think the fight poster has been changed, and their one is the first picture. Callum Smith and Joshua Boatsi, which would headline the O2 Arena or, the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, and I think it would do really good numbers, is about to walk first. That's how stacked that card is. That's how stacked it is. Nah, it's the greatest fight card there's ever been. It is. It is. Argue with yourselves. What's this one? Enjoy your vids every time at a favorite wing walk you've seen live. Appreciate it, brother. Favorite ring walk I've seen. Oh, Terence Crawford. Oh my God. When Terence Crawford was walking to the ring with Eminem, I was like, this is done. Errol Spence is dead. And when I saw Eminem, and although Eminem was miming, I didn't care. It didn't take away from just how good that ring walk was. Terence Crawford walked out of Eminem. Vegas, packed. And everyone talks about these events going all over the world. Nothing beats Las Vegas. Nothing. For the big one, nothing beats it. And that was around that time, the biggest one, right? Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. Yes, a Terence Crawford. Although I do have a soft spot for Kell Brook's walkout music. I love it. You know what I like about Kell Brook's walkout music? I like when a fighter sticks with the same song. I hate when fighters come out to different theme tunes or music, and Kell Brook always stuck to the same song. So certainly Kell Brook has to get a mention as well. But Terence Crawford by far. Great question, by the way. Great question. What do you think about Ricardo Torres versus Moses Tatalma down the line? You know, the thing is, I would have said that they would have kept those guys apart for a few years. But with Riyadh season now, I mean, that fight could happen 12 to 18 months. Like Riyadh season does that. Like I would have said Jared Anderson's never going to fight Martin Bakole. They would keep them two away because they're trying to build Jared Anderson. Now you just have to fight. So that would be a great fight. I hear so much about Moses. Like everyone tells me, like I speak to all these heavyweights and they all tell me Moses is a killer. They've all sparred him. All of them say it. So I'm super high about Moses. So I'd have to go with my fellow Brit. Go my Brit. All right, let's get back to the question. All right, Chandrana. Have I pronounced that correct? Jitin Chandrana. If Usyk and Bertabiev win their respective upcoming fights and neither retire, is the only real fight for both next with each other at a catchweight or at cruiserweight? Yeah, most likely. There have been some talk about other fighters potentially. I mean, Bertabiev, there's been some conversation about him going up and fighting Zerdo. Zerdo, obviously, he beat Crispin Smith. Zerdo is not the biggest cruiserweight. Bertabiev is a giant of a light heavyweight. Then there's been talk about Bertabiev potentially fighting Jar Pataya. So there are other fights out there. But for Usyk, I don't see what there is that's that attractive for Usyk if he beats Fury. He's already beaten Dubois. Unless Parker beats Dubois, then maybe he fights Parker for undisputed. But he's already become undisputed. So that excitement to become undisputed is done. He came into boxing and he said, give me the top two heavyweights at the time. AJ possibly and Fury definitely. And he's beaten the top two. So he's already clocked the game. I would love Usyk just to walk away from the sport. I think Usyk's done what he needed to do. Undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. Obviously, the amateur record is insane as well. Walk away and let's discuss where you are as an all-time great. That's what I would love for him to do. He probably won't do it. Deep random thinker. When Usyk knocks out Fury, will he become the greatest of all time? Absolutely not. Greatest of all time? Dude, can you not see the Muhammad Ali poster behind you? Can you see? That's Muhammad Ali there. So no. Did both Kabayel and Zhang duck Bakole? No. These fighters don't like. Zhang ain't ducking anyone. I'm being very honest with you. Zhang ain't dug. It's never, most times, it isn't the fighters, it's the people behind the fighters. I think we've seen this with Floyd Schofield recently. Floyd Schofield, obviously, Oscar didn't want Floyd to fight Shakur Stevenson. And if we didn't know, if it wasn't all out there, we'd have said, oh, Floyd's kind of ducking Shakur. And Floyd was like, no, I want this fight. Give me this fight regardless. And then eventually it got pushed through. But most times it's your handlers that don't want you to have the fights. Zhang and Kabayel are not scared of Bakole. I like Bakole so much. I think Bakole beats both of them. They're not scared of him, though. They would take those fights. I don't know what's going to happen with Bakole. There's been a lot of talk about him having a fight in March. When I spoke to Turkey, I said, look, what's going on with Bakole? I think there was some talk about Bakole going on this card, but the card would have been too long. So I think they're going to make another card now for March, which I think Bakole might headline against F.A. Jagba, I think. Will Fury come in heavier this time and walk Usyk down, or try to, or fight on the back foot? I expect him to come in roughly the same. I don't know if you can walk. There's a problem about the idea of walking down Usyk sounds easy if you're not Usyk and move like a crazy man. Like walking down Wilder, as Fury did in the second fight, was easy because Wilder doesn't have great foot movement, doesn't create angles, doesn't know how to exit when he's in a problem. Usyk has great foot movement. So you're walking down someone that's going to make you work. And if you're Fury and you're coming in near 20 stone, you're going to gas out. You are going to gas out. So I don't think he does. G-Man Boxing says, salute to Ade, salute to you too, my brother. G-Man, you know what? Yeah, G-Man has to be the quickest on the trigger when it comes to putting up videos. Like, it's almost like Lawrence Okolie, yeah? One, I'm not joking, 5 minutes later, G-Man's got a video up about Lawrence Okolie. I was like, how do you fucking compete with that? How do you compete with that? Reese Cooper, let's go. Fire emojis. Thank you, brother. Gingerbread says, yes, Ade. 2 secs. Gingerbread also says this. He says it, not me. Watches every video. Watch every video. What can I tell you? Peter Nagy says, Lawrence Okolie is going to tear the heavyweight division a new arsehole. What I will say about Lawrence being there, the heavyweight division is exciting. There's so much, right? There's so much going on. So many potential fights. All of a sudden, I don't mind the idea of Lawrence OKOLIE versus Fabio Wardley. I like that. I love Lawrence OKOLIE versus Dillian White. That's the one I want to see. They had a little, not beef, but they had a little, conversation, skirmish, 3-4 years ago. Let's revisit that. I like the idea of that. King OP the Great says, big up the chat, big up Ade. I've met this guy in real life. Enormous. Brother. One of the biggest dudes I've ever seen in my life. Enormous. What's this? Glad you got this live thing going again. Any chance you get us on camera again as well? Being you did it before. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We need to do that. There's a lot I need to do with the lives. I just wanted to kind of get them back again. But yeah, there's a lot I want to do. And getting you guys on to interact was important with me. Important to me, sorry. So yeah, we're going to get that going again. Trust me. Hopefully very, very soon. Is 140 the best division to watch? All the titles have changed hands apart from Tio this year. And Tio should have lost to Ortiz. Is it the best division? Yeah, I think it's the most difficult to predict. I think it's the most exciting. I think in terms of depth, it's really, really exciting. You know how exciting it is? Like when I did Latino night and Oscar Duarte fought, what's his name? I think his name's Betia. I can't remember his name. And I was watching that fight thinking these guys are scratching top 10. They're fucking good. Literally, they're good. 1 to 10 at 140 is like good luck. Every matchup's difficult. Every matchup. Like Tio, you're right about Tio should have lost to Ortiz, but Tio's probably the top guy at 140. But I mean, Hitchens could beat him. Could. I always feel like Tio rises to the level of his opponents, though. So you'd make Tio a favorite. But I mean, there's some good guys in there. And by the way, Keyshawn's going to be there soon. And Shakur will be there soon. Honestly, really good division. Obviously, we got Ryan Garcia coming back in a few months. Devin Haney's now training again. Jack Catchell looked like he's going to fight Arnold Barboza. There's a lot going on. Josh Taylor is still around. Let's not forget him. And then you've got the likes of Adam Azim and Dalton Smith. Stacked. Horrible division. Good luck. Good luck in that division. What's this one? Big up Ade. I hope you're keeping well. I've been a fan of yours since 2019. Jesus. Appreciate this. Honestly, those type of things, I appreciate a lot. Appreciate a lot. Even Ade, thoughts on potential. Okay, we've done that one already. Do you know when the Ring website is coming back? I personally love their boxing ranking, so I miss it. Same. I need it for my bloody channel. I believe it's coming back. Fury Usyk fight week. I think they're going to try and do something around them, which makes sense. It's a good way to push it. But yeah, I like it. Which fight would you make for ADELEYE? I would go. This is a bit of a wild one, but I'd go someone like a Charles Martin for him. I'd like to see him kind of go the international route now. Obviously, look, Fraser Clark would be the one, and there's been some talks, but Fraser should sit out the whole year. And I mean, when I say year, I mean like 12 months since he fought Fabio. I don't want to see Fraser fight for a while. I want him to really heal. So that's probably the one. But in between then, I wouldn't mind him going a couple of former veterans, like former world champions or veterans that have been around the sport, that's still in the sport, that bring some sort of name value. So Charles Martin just springs to mind. Ade, why has the promo been so bad? Are you referring to Fury Usyk? If you are, I don't think it's been bad. I mean, the trailer was fantastic. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but the trailer was fantastic. I think the problem is sometimes TNT are showing the fight, I believe. DAZN are showing the fight. Sky are showing the fight. Everyone's doing little bits everywhere. Imagine it was just one broadcaster and they literally had all the power to do all the promo. I think it would be a lot better. But I think the trailer was fantastic. Probably the best one yet. Dubois Parker prediction. Edge to Dubois. Wouldn't be shocked if Parker wins. I know that's fence sitting, and I don't like to fence it. But obviously, I'm going to be working the event. So it's a bit difficult for me just to kind of say one thing, but I will edge to the champion just because of what the champion did recently, and just because he's been way more active recently than Parker as well. But Parker's got a chance. Parker's been wanting this fight for a while. Parker's got a big chance. I say 60-40 in favor of Dubois. 60-40. Good question, this one. George Whitaker says, does Ishmael Davis give Boychuk any problems? Fair play to him for stepping in as well. It only gives him a problem if he's been training. If he's been in the gym, like there's a fight coming, then it gives him a problem. If he is just taking this fight on less than 2 weeks' notice, then Boychuk's going to be too much for him. Because one thing Boychuk does is work. He makes you work. He doesn't fade like Josh Kelly did. He makes you work. I think we saw that against Virgil Ortiz. So there could be a making weight issue for Ishmael Davis. Remember, this fight's not at 160, where he fought Josh Kelly. It's at 154. And I just don't like the idea. I'm so happy he's taking the fight. But taking this type of fight on less than 2 weeks' notice, I think is a bit of a risky one. But you've got to take that fight. Once that phone call comes, do you want to be co-main event of Fury Usyk, Saudi Arabia? Big money. You take it. You take it. And Ishmael's got enough power to cause Boychuk problems, but I don't know if he's going to have the stamina. That's what I think. I'm gonna answer this one. I just saw it. What do you make of Top Rank joining Dead Zone? Interesting. It doesn't seem to be Dead Zone anymore. I feel like everyone's joining. Obviously, we have Queensbury joining the Zone. Top Rank potentially joining the Zone. I think Bob Arum said something today like some fights will be potentially on the Zone or could be on the Zone, some elsewhere, maybe some on Prime joining PBC. But it's interesting that a lot of these promoters that shitted on the Zone are now joining the Zone. Very interesting. All right, a couple of super chats have come in. Let's quickly read them. This one from Matt Borgenson. Thank you very much. Matt says, I don't think Richard Torres is ready for Moses Tatama, but they shouldn't prevent fighters from fighting. Let's find out. That's a very interesting statement. And the reason it's interesting is because Julian Williams, J-Rock, he kind of he says something about Eddie Hearn and the matchmaking that Matchroom are doing, because a couple of prospects got beat in Puerto Rico. And I think Eddie was like, well, 1 second, what should we do? We can't just keep gifting these guys easy fights. Like, sometimes you're going to have to prove yourself. You're getting paid. We can't just make your record look like 21-0 and you haven't fought anyone. There has to be a time in a fighter's career where you take an acid test and we find out if you're good enough or not. And that could apply to both of these guys. I think there's too much. Boxing has this way, and it's actually it's so old school, where they will put you in the ring against 20 tomato cans just so your record's 20-0 and then you fight someone. No. Let's find out earlier. And I think we're seeing that now a bit with Riyadh season. We're finding out who has got it and who hasn't. Who's talking the talk, who can walk the walk. Yeah, that's it. Speaking of Duarte, do you think Oscar put Ryan against him, expecting him to lose so he could get rid of his contract? Or is Ryan underrated? Do you think Oscar put Ryan against him, expecting him to lose? So no, I don't. No, I don't. I think he knew Ryan was going to. Remember, one thing about that fight as well is that Oscar Duarte was coming up from 135 pounds, and that fight was made at 143 pounds. Duarte was just undersized for Ryan. Like, Ryan had every single advantage in that fight. Ryan's a good fighter, you know. Ryan is underrated because of his looks. I think people just think of him as that guy. That Ryan that fought Devon looked really good. Obviously, there's an asterisk, but Ryan can fight. Like, Ryan Garcia can fight. Ryan is fast. He's powerful, but he just needs to sort himself out. Like, Ryan's a really, really good 140 pounder. Really good. What's this one? Yes, Ade, do you know if there's an issue regarding White and the British Boxing Board of Control? His last fight being in Ireland and then in Gibraltar next week since positive test. Jeez, if there is an issue since that positive test, when would that fight have been? That was last year, August. That you know, the answer to this is I don't know, but that's also very interesting, isn't it? I don't know, but I will find out. And once I find out, I will let you know. But as far as I'm concerned, I would have thought that even if there was a ban that we didn't know about, I would have thought the ban would have been around 12 months and he should be okay to fight. But then it's being okay to fight and then applying for your license. And there might be an issue with it. Didn't Dylan White have an issue before? Like with like a diet thing, like an over-the-counter diet supplement. So he might have already had too many slaps on the wrist. That's an interesting point. I'll try and look into it. Hopefully that's not the case because I like Dillian a lot. I think Dillian's good. I think he's a good for British boxing. I find his energy a bit crazy. Something we need, especially at these press conferences. Fury versus Usyk 2 prediction. I'm going for Usyk to get the job done again without any conviction. I honestly, I'm only going with him again because he won the first fight. That's it. That's all it is. But Fury does look very confident. Like Fury's confidence levels are crazy, aren't they? Like I thought Fury lost that first fight, but when I interviewed him in the ring, he was so adamant he won. He convinced me he won. I was like, I might need to go and watch that fight back again. So Fury's level of confidence is through the roof. This is a good fight. Who wins between Johnny Fisher and David ADELEYE? Now that's a fight I want to see. I think someone asked me earlier, what next for ADELEYE? Johnny Fisher. If Johnny Fisher beats Dave Allen, and he should beat Dave Allen, make that fight. Make that fight for the British title because surely Fabio Wardley's going to vacate. Great fight. Love it. Very good. Very good shout, that is. All right, where are we? Okay, someone asked a question about Chris Andre. Peter Nagy saying that Chris Andre had family issues. Hopefully he's okay. I will check on him. Now I've heard that. So yeah, fingers crossed he's fine. Reese Richmond, been waiting for this all day. Oh, I love it. Come on, Ade, lad. Keep it up. You're smashing it. Thank you. Thank you. Fight you're most looking forward to on the December 21st card. If main event, other than main event, what other fight? McCann McGraw. Come on, it's got to be those two. McCann McGraw. That's also Matchroom Queensbury, isn't it? And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how Moses deals with Dempsey McKean. I mean, Dempsey took Hrgovic, I think, all the way to round 11. So Dempsey's no slouch. But if Moses is what we think he is, then I expect Moses to blow him away. So looking forward to that one as well. And now I was really looking forward to Boychuk versus Madrimov. I am looking forward to seeing what Ishmael Davis can do. But again, I'm concerned about someone getting 2 weeks notice for a fight of that magnitude. Have you seen the rumors of a Jack Catterall Liam Smith doubleheader in Manchester in February? I've not seen the rumors. I've heard the rumors. I think Jack Catterall tweeted something along the lines of, "I'll see you in February" to Arnold Barboza Jr. And I know that Liam Smith was supposed to fight on a January card, or at least Matchroom asked him to. It wasn't enough time for him, so I expect to see Liam Smith on the February card. So yeah. Is Matchroom under big pressure from Queensbury Promotions since they joined the Zone? No, not at all. Not at all. If anything, it helps the Zone because Matchroom didn't do enough shows in the UK last year. Obviously, a lot of the shows were in America, Mexico, obviously Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So now the Zone have a platform of someone that does do quite a lot of UK shows. So when you combine Matchroom and Queensbury for the Zone viewers, there's going to be enough shows. So yeah, I think it's fine. Ade, did you see McKenna versus Moran yesterday? Hagler hurt? No, I didn't, and I will watch it after this. Interesting. What do you make of the Tank stuff? Do we see the Devin Shakur Tio fights? Tank doesn't care about fighting those guys. Like, I'm not joking. I've never seen someone get so angry when asked about Shakur Stevenson. It's crazy. Like, he gets asked about Shakur because Shakur is the second best 135-pounder. Like, I'll give Tank his credit. I think Tank is the number one. People ask him about fighting number two and he loses the plot. It's crazy. Honestly, I just find it mind-boggling. He has no interest. And I don't think it's because I don't want to think that Tank is scared of these guys, because I think Tank will fight any of these guys, but he seems to not want to do it. And Tank's the boss in all this. Like, Tank is the A side in all of those fights. If Tank wanted tomorrow to fight Shakur Stevenson, he fights Shakur Stevenson. If Tank tomorrow wanted to fight Tio, he fights Tio. Tio and Devin are different because they're now 140. But if Tank asks for any of these fights are getting made, because Tank literally calls the shots. Tank is like Canelo and Floyd Mayweather. He picks who he wants to fight. If these fights ain't happening, it's down to Tank. It's just that simple. It's down to Tank. No other person. Ade, are you going to put out Riyadh vlogs again? Yes, I am. I'm actually taking all my equipment with me. Like, normally I just take my phone and the tripod. I'm taking everything with me, everything. And I'm trying to find someone in Riyadh that can film it for me as well, like the walkabouts and stuff like that. So we'll see. What's this? A super sticker from Gal. Thank you. Like, guys, don't have to do this. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If the rumors are true about Canelo versus Crawford happening in May, where does these rumors come from? And Crawford wins, where does he stand in the all-time pound-for-pound rankings? Very fucking high. Pardon my French, but very, very high. If Crawford were to jump from 154 to 168, bear in mind he only had one fight at 154. So basically, we're talking about a jump of 147 to 168 and beat Canelo. And you know what it is about Canelo as well, yeah? Canelo obviously is now on the decline. He is very slowly declining, but he's on the decline. Canelo is still the number one at 168 pounds. And every pound for pound rankings I look at, Canelo is still very much in the top 7. So he is fighting a guy that is top 7 pound for pound and the number one 168 pounder. If Crawford were to beat that guy, and I think Crawford can beat him, then we have to have a conversation about Crawford. We have to. I already think he's special, but yeah. You asked His Excellency about Africa. I saw Hatman say that the problem is the corruption over there. You have more knowledge than him. How true is it? Nonsense. I mean, there's corruption everywhere. I hate that that corruption in Africa. There's fucking corruption over here. Corruption in America. There's corruption everywhere. So no, I don't. It's too, like, Hatman's my guy, but that's too much of a lazy comment. Like, I go to Nigeria a lot, but I also travel the world a lot, so I see corruption in every place I travel. So that's not a reason for an event not to happen. Trust me. Will there be people trying to get their hands on all the money that's being thrown around because of a Riyadh season event? Yes, but then you put the right people in place, that won't happen. So yeah, and I actually want to make sure I'm involved in that somehow, because I'm so passionate about seeing a boxing event in Africa, because there's some good people over there that want to do something for the country, and I think this will be a big one. But I'm not having that corruption thing, no. Ade, yeah, my guy, back again. What chance do you give OKOLIE if he fought one of the big boy heavyweights, i.e. AJ, Joyce, or White? I think he beats Dillian White. Dillian's just, at this stage, a part-time boxer. And OKOLIE is at least in it again. The Rosansky win at Bridgerweight was a good win. I know he's not anyone really, and the guy he fought isn't no one, but at least he's fighting. So I'd say he beats OKOLIE. Sorry, he beats White. He certainly beats Joe Joyce for me now. I mean, I think he does. The other guys, no. The other guys are a bit of a problem. He needs time, but I think he beats Joyce and Dillian White. I do. Majimov did very well against Crawford, and Virgil isn't cut from that cloth. Now, Virgil is cut from that cloth. Virgil's a good fighter. You know, when I stood next to him, Virgil's got a bit of an issue that he isn't the biggest 154 and he can't make 147. He's almost stuck at 150. But Virgil's a good fighter. He's got a lot of heart, which helps. I just think Majimov's a bit of a problem. Honestly, I think Majimov's a bit of a problem. Majimov's movement's a problem. And look, Virgil, there was a chance when obviously Majimov was going to fight Boychuk and then fight Virgil. The fact that Majimov's now got a clean path to Virgil, man, it's a bit of a problem. Okay, look at this one. Yo, Ade, I can't be impressed with Lawrence Okoli KOing an Amazon delivery driver last night. We need to see him in there with a name at this point. Get him in there with Dillian to settle their beef. Nah, I get it. I get it. I get it. The guy was no one. I understand. And so I'm not going to be super excited. But when a guy is in there that is a no one, you've got to treat them like a no one. And Okoli treated him like an Amazon delivery driver. Knocked him out in one. If that went 5 or 6, then I'd have big concerns. The fact that Okoli got rid of him just like that is a bit of a statement. A bit of one. No, Reese, not true, Reese. Joe Joyce has been like that for a long time in terms of Joe Joyce's speech. No, not as bad as it's been now. Not as bad as it's been now. Now, look, Joe's a bit like Dubois, where they're not comfortable speaking like, the rest of the top tier heavyweights. But it's not that anymore. I know the difference between not comfortable speaking and a deterioration somewhere. I just want him to be looked at. If he wants to fight again and he can pass all the medicals, fine. I just want him to be looked at for his own health, for his own safety. How would Yafai get on with Bam? Not ready. Not yet. Not ready. Mate, Bam's top 4 pound for pound. Bam is top 4 pound for pound, a heavier weight class, and walks around a lot bigger than Yafai. Yafai's good. I mean, he's an Olympic gold medalist, man. Good fighter, but Bam's a special fighter. Like, Bam might be one of those fighters in a couple of decades' time that we look back and say, fucking, I remember Bam Rodriguez. That's how good I think Bam is. Bam's cleared out the old guard, and now he's clearing out the new guard. Bam's a special fighter. All right, a couple of super chats. Let's quickly read those. Will the Fury doubters haters switch sides if he beats Usyk this time round? Seeing the tide is against Fury this time round, he's better as an underdog. Maybe. I mean, you know what? That's actually an interesting statement. Forget the first part, but the last bit's an interesting statement. Underdog against Vladimir Klitschko. Underdog against Wilder the first, and I would say even maybe the second time. And we saw the best Tyson Fury we saw in the second Wilder fight. So maybe if he approaches it like that, like everyone's against me, back against the wall, blah, blah, blah. Fury put a lot of pressure on himself, though. Fury was calling him a blown-up middleweight. I'm going to bash you up. You can't do anything. And it didn't quite play out like that. So, yeah. I think we all love Fury. I do anyway, personally. I think Fury's fantastic. I did a video about him a couple of weeks ago. I think he's fantastic for British boxing. I love him. Does he chat a bit of shit? Yeah, he does. But we all do. He's shown that he's human. He says things, regrets saying things, has a drink, falls over. I think we can all resonate to that and connect to that. I am a big Fury fan. I think people think because I like AJ, I don't like Fury. No, I love both. I love both, but I think Fury's fantastic, and I'll be so upset when he's gone. So upset. If Crawford beats Canelo, is he above Floyd? How dare you ask that question? If Crawford beats Canelo, is he above Floyd in legacy? That's a tough question, bro. That is a great question and a tough one. You know what? I can't even answer that now, Mark. Mark, I need, that is one of those kind of questions where I need a round table of about 5 guests to discuss it. Floyd's resume is better. Floyd's resume is better. But mate, you're talking about Crawford jumping up quite a few pounds. That's a great question. Boy, that might be the best question of the day. Great vids, Ade, Dubois, Bakoli. Who you got? Bakoli. And I'm not saying that because he gave me his gloves. Bakoli's a beast, you know. Bakoli is a beast. I'm telling you now. But I will say this about Dubois. Dubois bloody, he's fast, isn't he? He's fast. He gets down. He can take a punch. I'd edge to Bakoli, but it's a great fight. Of all the heavyweight fights that can be made right now, that's probably my number one choice, you know. And if I had literally magic wand, I can make any heavyweight fight right now, I'd probably make Dubois Bakoli. I think that one's super exciting. Super exciting. I worry about Okolie's movement versus the big dudes. I've always felt he's too reliant on his length, won't work when he fights someone the same size. Yeah, that's my worry for Okolie as well. The thing about this, and this is why I was a bit concerned when Okolie came in super heavy. I was like, dude, why are you coming in so heavy? Like, you need to be coming in 20, 30 pounds lighter than these big guys so you can move. He did message me back and say he's going to come in lighter. So I think a lighter OKOLIE against the big guys will be better. The problem is when he fights the likes of Wardley, who's also very light and very big, that could be a problem. But I think Lawrence might do very well against the super big guys because I think they are quite slow. We'll see. We'll see. Big super chat here. Again, guys, thank you so much for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Sheriff Bigley. Man, Sheriff, you've been around. If this is the same Sheriff Bigley, you've been following this channel for ages. Hey, Ade, random question. Dubois Fury, who wins? Sure. You know, like if I say Dubois, I'm a Fury hater. You know, you can't win, can you? You can't win. Dubois. You know, it's a young man's game. It's a young man's game. Fury's taken a lot of punishment. Mate, Fury, yeah, has taken a lot of punishment, you know. He's taken a lot of punishment. Those Wilder fights took a lot out of him. I don't think we put enough stock into those. Like how we constantly hear about Wilder being the biggest puncher we've ever seen. Fury got hit with that forehammer so many times. And Dubois can hit. The punishment he took from Usyk as well. Dubois is younger, and at this stage of his career, fresher. I think Dubois might get him just on that. I'm not saying Dubois is a better boxer than Fury, but Dubois might just get him on the fact that he's younger. Younger, faster, arguably stronger. I don't know, man. I don't know. Last one. Does Spence win a world title again? No. Errol doesn't. Errol doesn't want to do this, does he? Errol doesn't. I don't know what's going on with Errol. I mean, the last thing I saw about Errol, he was vacationing with Frank Martin. He looked like he was quite lean and in shape. But look, you never know. He's got the Fundura fight. I just think Fundura, at this stage of Errol's career, again, someone that's taken a lot of punishment, lives the life now, but didn't live the life for a while outside the ring. He admitted that himself. Had that crazy car accident as well. I think Errol's run his race. I mean, the way in which Crawford kind of took him to school surprised me a bit. So I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. All right. This has been a good live. Guys, I've enjoyed this live. Thank you. All right. What else we got? Love watching the Ariel Ade podcast, but what do you think of the Froch and Ariel beef? It's crazy. You know what it is? Both are right. And that's not me trying to, play both sides, but both are right. Like, Carl definitely wants Jake Paul fight. He'll say he doesn't want it. Of course he wants it. And I think that's what Ariel's trying to say. Ariel's trying to say, you want the Jake Paul fight. And Carl's like, I don't want it. I don't care about it. Jake mentioned my name. No, he does. He wants to fight. Fact. But I also feel like Ariel maybe was slightly disrespectful when he says no one knows who Carl is. Like, Carl's no one in America. People know Carl. Maybe not to the point where people fucking paparazzi him, but they know who Carl is. I think Carl got wound up for that because Carl says, like, I'm a 4-time world champion, Hall of Famer, fought in front of 80,000. So I think Carl thought maybe Ariel was a little disrespectful. That's all it was. But I will say this, Ariel don't back down from anyone, Ariel's happy to go toe-to-toe when it comes to beef, and so is Carl. I think Carl put it on Gareth A. Davis, didn't he? Yesterday or the day before. Hey, Ade, love the channel. How many pay-per-view buys does Canelo Bud do? 1 million. It's the one fight that I think does 1 million. There aren't that many fights out there anymore that I think they can touch that 1 million. I think Bud can touch it. Look, Bud's not a pay-per-view monster, right? I mean, how many pay-per-views has he had? Not many. But I think sometimes it takes, you need a dance partner. It takes two to tango. And I almost feel like Bud brings a different audience in. Canelo brings a different audience in. They both have a lot of casual fans as well that will come from different sports. I think it does 1 million pay-per-view buys. I really do. The face-off would be fantastic as well. So yeah, I'm going to say 1 million. What's this? Simon Stevens says, crazy that Joyce beat Dubois and Parker. Yeah, fully agree about Joe Joyce. He needs to give it up. His health is more important. It is crazy. It's crazy how quick it can turn around. Like, Joyce beat Parker. And when Joyce beat Parker, I remember the conversations. Joyce will beat AJ. Joyce could beat Wilder. Joyce could beat Fury. Joyce could beat everyone. And Parker's done. That's kind of what it was. I mean, we fast forward, what is it, 18, 24 months? Has it been that? Parker's fighting for a world title and Joe Joyce looks like he should be retired. Boxing's crazy. Boxing's crazy. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we kick fighters to the curb too quickly? I don't know. Like, am I kicking Joe Joyce to the curb too quickly based on what I said? I don't think I am. Remember, Joe Joyce isn't a spring chicken anymore either. It's not like he's 25, 26. He's nearly 40. So, yeah. 2 6. Zhang needs to stop banging. If you get him, you should get it. Hopefully you get it. Hopefully you get it. What's this? Zhili Zhang is getting stopped this time in the latter rounds after he gasses. Could happen. Honestly, could happen. This is an interesting one, by the way. Not this. I just saw this. The next one coming. Man like Ade, favorite for the new match of the day presenter gig. Can I tell you something about that? Yeah. No, actually, I have to keep it a secret. I can't tell you. Ade, what do you think about AJ fighting Hrgovic next? Interesting. They both lost to Dubois, and Hrgovic is just one loss. Not a bad matchup. Very good matchup. Very risky matchup for AJ and for Hrgovic, but more AJ. If Hrgovic loses, he loses, right? No one necessarily cares too much, apart from Hrgovic fans. If AJ loses, then there's a problem. Where's Hrgovic? I've never seen Hrgovic. Hrgovic talks a lot. I've never seen a man go so quiet after defeat. Hrgovic literally has vanished. Like, where's Hrgovic? Like, how's Hrgovic not fighting? Like, his name's not been mentioned anywhere. He literally has vanished. Did he say as a joke that if he loses to Dubois, he retires or something? So maybe it's that. I don't know. A man says, Ade, thoughts on the current pool of English South Asian fighters? Shiraz, Azim, Udin. There's more. There's so many. And they're good. I mean, it's one thing having a pool of South Asian fighters that are just there and, potentially don't have much sort of superstar status around them. Look at the ones you just mentioned. Hamza Shiraz is one of my favorite fighters in the world. Not just because of his ability to fight, which is very good, just the way in which he talks, the way in which he carries himself. Adam Azim's going to do incredible things. Hamza Udin, like, there's so many good fighters out there. So, yeah, man, it's weird. It's almost like in the last 3 or 4 years, there's been so many. Like, it's been so many. So hopefully it inspires the next generation as well. And look, Amir Khan's responsible for a lot of this. I think we have to give credit to Amir Khan for this. But hopefully Hamza, Azim, Udin inspire the next South Asians pool of fighters to come through as well, because there's a lot of talent, especially more up in the sort of Sheffield area. There's a lot of fighters. Sheffield, Manchester, there's a few fighters coming through as well from the Manchester area. So there's quite a lot. Adam Bold says, do you think the only way we see Ben Eubank is if it's a 50-50 split? Yeah. It's the only way. I mean, and it should be. It should be. It's not like I think Eubank is the bigger name. Eubank's done more in the sport, but it's not like Eubank is some fucking pay-per-view king. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Eubank can. I've done this number on pay-per-view events. It's not. So they both need each other, is what I'm trying to get at. So hopefully it happens. Hey, Ade, I saw a Matchroom podcast the other day. I cannot believe darts is their most profitable sport. Yeah, I saw that. I saw a guy do that. I don't know if this is true, but if it is true, it doesn't surprise me. Boxing costs a lot of money. Boxing costs a lot of money. The fighters, the money these fighters are getting paid is the reason why darts is. I mean, look, darts players get paid a lot as well, but nothing near what fighters get paid. So for me, it makes sense. But darts is a big thing. Like, darts is a big thing. I like it. I've only been to a couple of darts events, but it's massive. Sky love it. Sky, literally, I was speaking to a producer from Sky the other day when I did my football thing, and he was telling me about darts. Sky love it. It literally goes football, darts, and anything else. So I don't know what other things Sky have on their channel, but it literally is football and darts is second. Crazy. Huge fan, bro. Spend most time driving to work, listening to your thoughts. One day you should let some of your subscribers watch a fight with you. Would love to hear your knowledge. There's a lot that I should and could do. It's just when you're a one-man band, it's quite a lot. But there are things. Like I had a good meeting with a good friend of mine, and he's got some plans. I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. So there's a few things that we want to do. All right. Thomas Triber. Oh, Thomas Triber. Great stuff as always, Ade. You guys know Thomas Triber, the MC for Queensbury. He says he watches this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, sure you do, Thomas. He's there. Thomas Triber, who does a fantastic job. Like I always think of the pressure of having to somehow become someone in the MC world when everyone just remembers Buffer and Jimmy Lennon Jr. Like those two are like the two guys, right? And Thomas and Big Mo and David Diamante have done so well in carving out a career when everyone only really remembers and thinks about, again, Michael Buffer and Jimmy Lennon Jr. So Thomas, appreciate it, brother. Look forward to seeing you in Riyadh, my man. I see a lot of hate for Gareth A. Davis. Can anyone explain it? I don't really understand it. Gareth gets a lot of stick because Gareth says what he wants to say, and some people like it, some don't. I've worked with Gareth now for about 3-4 years, and aside from working, we've gone out for a drink a couple of times. He's crazy. He is crazy, but he's also a great guy. Honestly, he's a great guy. And I know people like to mock him and stuff, but I'm telling you, from my experience, guys, a solid dude. Solid dude. I mean, anyone that can Gareth's been in this industry for like 30 years. I mean, it takes some doing to stay in the industry for 30 years and still be relevant. So I'll give Gareth a lot of credit, man. Wilder's resume is rubbish. As soon as he stepped up, he lost every time. He never took any tough tests when he was in his peak other than Fury. No, Luis Ortiz was a tough test. Come on. Stop it. Luis Ortiz was a tough test. Cuban southpaw hit like a brick. Luis Ortiz is a tough test, and that one he definitely came through twice. 2 secs. Let's have a look. I'll just show this one because he's being nice to me. Ade, respect to you, brother. Respect the hustle and the grind, man. Keep going. We shall keep going. 2 seconds. I really, really hope this isn't true. I mean, I really, really, really remember. Like, it almost doesn't make sense. Joe Joyce lost to Derek Chisora. Fabio Wardley beat Fraser Clark. How on earth does that doesn't make sense? And I'd be very, very shocked if it is the case as well. Wardley is ranked highly by most governing bodies. Wardley needs a big name. Look, I mean, there were strong talks about Wardley versus Dubois, and I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it at all. So you don't go from Wardley potentially taking on the IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois, to Wardley fighting Joe Joyce. You're taking a piss. You're lying. I don't believe you. Team Batman February 22nd card is unbelievable. Yes, it is. Best fight card ever. It is. I like, you could remove Beterbiev Bivol, and it's still one of the best fight cards I've ever seen. You could. That's how good this fight card is. Like, what is it? Like Virgil Ortiz versus Madrimov is now legit. That's now no asterisks, obviously, because Madrimov is now no longer fighting Boychuk. That's crazy. Hamza Shiraz, Carlos Adames, crazy. Shakur Stevenson, Floyd Schofield, take my money. Boatsy Smith, what? Kabiel Zhang, Parker Dubois, crazy. Hi, Ade, are you coming to Riyadh on the 21st? Of course. I mean, if I don't come, who does the show? It's all me. No, I'm joking. But I am coming. I can't wait for DAZN to announce their team. I know they are trying to get some big hitters on the team. So hopefully there's some big names. Hopefully you guys are happy with the lineup. the talent lineup. But yeah, I will be there. Kate Abdo will be there. So the usual suspects, but then hopefully we sprinkled it with a bit of magic dust and you guys are happy with it. But you're never happy with it, are you? Fucking hell. Hi, Ade. Great to see the lives are back. Wonder if you ever rechecked your predictions you did on the Boxing ID show with Rob, Andy, and Barry. Bloody hell, I can't remember doing that show. I'm gonna have to look at that. I can't even remember. But thank you. The lives are back now. By the way, we're not playing. The lives are back, people. Like back. I haven't seen this interview. A few people have said I should look at it. I've not seen it. Did you see Ben Whittaker's explanation of events and that he wants Liam Cameron next? I haven't seen it. So before I talk about it, I will have a look at it first. I might do a video on it. What do you think about the sparring stories that OKOLIE had with Usyk and Dubois, claiming to have knocked them out, dropped them? It can happen. But OKOLIE can hit hard. I wouldn't be shocked. The thing is about sparring, you never know where someone is in their preparation. You never know if someone just literally got off the couch and can only have a few rounds in them. So it's not like sparring is two guys that are absolutely at their best and they meet. So OKOLIE could have been tip-top condition. Dubois has just started fight camp. So I don't take too much from sparring, but I believe that OKOLIE could have knocked both of them out. Yeah. If OKOLIE versus a Jagba gets made, would you absolutely love to see that one in Africa, and what part? Yeah, it's not gonna get. I mean, it's gonna get made, but it's not gonna be in Africa, which is a shame. A Jagba being from Nigeria, OKOLIE obviously being from Congo, but yeah, it's a shame, and I would love to see it in Nigeria. You guys know this chaos in Lagos. It's great. For that fight. It's the greatest title ever. I'm willing to sell the title if anyone wants to buy it. Just join the chat. Not sure if you've already talked about it, but what did you think about some of the stoppages last night? David ADELEYE and Lawrence OKOLIE TKOs were stopped too soon. No. What are you trying to do? Kill these fighters? Solomon Dakers was out on his feet. He got up, but he was out on his feet. That one just messed with his equilibrium. And it would have been a clean shot next for ADELEYE. Now, look, there is in America. It's funny, in America, they probably let that fight go on, but because America are desperate to see people get stretched out sometimes. But we're a bit more okay. He's had enough. As for OKOLIE, he looked fucking fucked as well. So no. I think those stoppages were okay. George helping. Even that February 22nd card is awesome. Personal favorite is Boatsy Smith, which is the first fight on the walkout. What is your prediction for that fight? Pain. That's my fucking prediction. Pain. Nah, it's a tough fight. I will edge to Boatsy because he's been the busier of the two. Obviously, that was Smith's first fight we saw a couple of weeks ago. Was it last weekend? No, 2 weeks. Was it last weekend? Was Sonny Edwards Galao fight last weekend? Couldn't have been. Might have been. But that was Callum's first fight since the Beterbiev defeat, and it was basically just a 5-round blowout. Whereas Boatsy's been in some tough fights. Obviously, the Willie Hutchinson one was tough. But Boatsy does get hit. He does get hit. I mean, so far, his chin is held up. But again, it's almost a bit like the Joe Joyce fight. You can't keep taking that kind of punishment. But I think Boatsy's got enough. So I'm going to go Boatsy to get the job done. But it is close. It's a good fight. Really, really good fight, isn't it? Really good fight. That one came from nowhere. Like, we kind of knew the others, right? The rumors. And then we saw that one. Everyone was like, what? Where the fuck does that come from? So, yeah, good fight. Hey, Ade, big fan of the channel. Watched you back on the Box Talk days with Ryan. Best days of my life. Can I ask, when will you have guests on again? I love you and G-Man. It works. Or love you and G-Man works. Yeah, I'm trying to do it. So my setup now is a bit more awkward. Like, I don't know. Basically, there's no room for G-Man, but we're trying to figure something out. I spoke to G-Man about this the other day, actually. I sent him a message and said, look, the people are wanting you back on, my man. So we are going to try and get something sorted. He obviously wants to come on. Why would he not want to come on this channel? But yeah, we're going to try and get something done soon. But I have spoke to G-Man about it and he wants it. And it looks like you guys want it as well. So, I mean, give the people what they want, right? Two sex people. And some of these I've already read out and they're kind of repeat questions. Oh, this is interesting. Zahid Ahmed, what do you think of public negotiations for fights? Let the public decide who ducked who. All fighters claim they want to fight such and such. I wonder if public negotiations could be fun. No, not for me. You know what it is? I almost like when I was young, a fight was just announced. Like, oh, okay, shit. I like that. I hate the rumors. I hate the promoters saying stuff. Then the fighters tweet something, and then a journalist like Dan Raphael leaks something, or Mike Coppinger. Maybe I'm just a bit too old school. I like the idea of seeing a fight post. I'm like, oh my God. Buatsi versus Smith is a great example of what I'm talking about. Someone just said that Buatsi versus Smith is the best fight card or the best fight on the fight card. Maybe not, but it's right up there, right? No one had a clue. No one had a clue. It just got announced. And we're like, oh my God, that's what I want. All the back and forth bullshit, I don't care about it. I don't care. I don't care who's A side, who's B side, who did this, who did that. I just want to see an announcement. And Buatsi versus Smith is a great example of, for me, how it should be. So I don't want to public. I get what you're saying, and it would be fun. But for me, just announce the fights. Just announce the motherfucking fights. Big up, Ade. I love your rise and your story is inspiring. Keep up the good work, my bro. Always humble, big yourself up. Thank you very, very much. And you know, thank you to everyone I see on the streets that stop me and we have conversations. It's funny, you know, because when people do stop me and like, oh my God, Ade, boxing talk. And I'm like, yeah. And they think I'm not going to stand and talk. I'm like, bro, I want to talk to you. You're talking to me, I want to talk to you. So thank you to everyone that stops me and has a conversation. You guys have helped me a lot over the years, so it's nice when I see you guys and there is a conversation and it's fun, and yeah, and a lot of you guys know your boxing. A lot of you guys might even know more boxing than me, because a few of you are real hardcore. What's this one? Yes, Ali, got back from work. Upcoming fight on February 22nd. Is Zhang 2 seasons for Cabial like OKOLIE was 2 seasons for Anderson? No, only because Cabial beat Frank Sanchez. I thought Frank Sanchez was a bit too seasoned for Cabial. Cabial's been doing this a long time, you know. I remember thinking back in the day that Derek Chisora was 2 seasons for Cabial. Cabial has been doing this for a minute. So no, I think Cabial is right now at his absolute peak, and I think Zhang is also very good, but my concern with Zhang is that he's 40, but sometimes fights like he's 50. 154 pounds has been good for years. Yes and no. Yes, there were good fights, competitive fights. I mean, Tony Harrison was in a division, J-Rock, Lara, Jamel Charlo, but it just seems to be so deep right now, the division. But then again, I just named 4 guys who could probably beat most of what's in the division now. So you might have a point. You might have a point. Usyk's last 5 fights, AJ, Dubois, Fury. Tell me heavyweight who's ever done that in the last 40 years. Wait, does 40 include Muhammad Ali? 1 second, let me quick. I haven't got my phone with me, but if 40 doesn't include Muhammad Ali, obviously 81 net. Last 40 years, I need to look at Evander Holyfield's run. Evander Holyfield had a run which in and around it would have been Lennox Lewis twice, Riddick Bowe fucking 3 times, Mike Tyson twice. Someone bring up Evander Holyfield's run, please. Because Evander Holyfield ducked nobody. And I mean, how much weight you giving to like AJ and Daniel Dubois in this? Evander Holyfield's run needs to be looked at. But it's a good point. It's a good point. But Evander Holyfield fucking That guy fought everyone. Everyone. What's this? 10 more minutes, people. 10 more minutes. Okay, what's this one? This is about Ishmael Davis. I think Ishmael was in the gym because he was meant to be fighting on fight week. Okay, fighting on fight. Okay, was Ishmael supposed to be? Maybe Ishmael was supposed to be on that Monte Carlo Monaco card that I'm doing. Maybe. So he was getting ready for that. I hope if that's the case, then he's got a good chance. But Boychuk can fight people, like real fight, like can really fight. So I think this is a much harder fight for me than Josh Kelly. Much harder, much harder. Has anyone made a worse choice than Yard leaving Frank? Ooh. This is difficult to talk about. Not avoiding the question, but I don't know if he, in the longer run, how old's Yard? I don't know if in the longer run it will benefit him. I'm not quite sure what happened with Frank and Yard, but you are correct. I mean, Yard right now is a bit in the wilderness. We're waiting to see what happens, what Tunde can get for him. There was some talk about Andre Dirrell for some. I'm like, well, Andre de what? No, we don't see Andre Dirrell Yard. What are we talking about? No way. Like, no way. It's a shame when you see what's like Boatsy fighting Smith and you're thinking, huh? Wasn't that supposed to be Boatsy Yard? So yeah, I'm not quite sure what happens because the Riyadh season cards, like if there is a problem between Frank, Tunde, and Yard, and hopefully it's been resolved. But if there is, there's no way Yard's going to get on these Riyadh season cards. And obviously that seems to be where the big money is now. Not that you can't have big fights outside of Riyadh season, but it seems as though that is the real money. So we'll see how it plays out for Yard, but not looking good, is it? Not looking good. Would you do a misfit fight? Who would you fight? No, I would not. No, I'm 44 in March. I wouldn't have done it when I was 34, let alone 44. If I was a bit younger, maybe, but 40, I know this is where I'm smart. I know this is a young man's game. I know it is. And as much as I think I'm fit and I can jog and go gym, I did a bit of pad work. That's about 3-4 months ago. I thought my fucking arms were going to fall off. Young man's game. Leave it to the kids. Leave it to the kids. Robert Tomowo, have I got that right? Tomowo? Ade, how do you balance being an impartial sports journalist while still being able to be an individual and give your honest opinions? Sure, there's a bit of incongruence going on. Seems hard. Incongruence. It's very, very difficult. And if I'm honest with you, it's very, very difficult. Because especially when I do the YouTube, I do want to just be myself. But I also know that DAZN are watching, Eddie's probably watching, Frank's watching, fucking TalkSport are watching, Turkey might be watching. So I sometimes I do feel like I'm caged with what I can say, but sometimes you just gotta, you gotta do what's true to you. I'm not as outspoken as I used to be. I mean, there'll be a few people on here that remember me and Ryan 6-7 years ago. I used to just fucking say anything I wanted to say. I can't do that anymore. So it is difficult, but you just got to do it. What can you do? You just got to find a way to balance it. And so far, I've not been sacked, fingers crossed, touch wood, from any of the jobs that I've got for saying something stupid. And you guys are still with me. So far, we've got the balance right. Just. No. Okay, look. Ade acting like he never heard of a rumor of White being banned. No. Guys, look, I certainly heard of that 100%. But that, like I said, that was August. When was AJ White supposed to be? August 2023? Like, we are now in December 2024. Like, it's been a while. I don't think the problem is White getting banned. I think I said this. I think the problem is there's been two other problems. Like, there is obviously the Jack 3D, I think it was called. But then there was the fight against the Cuban. How have I forgot his name? I think there was an issue there as well. So I just wonder if it's maybe been one too many issues for Dillian White. Maybe. Not quite sure. Look, only White knows, right? Only White and his management knows We're all guessing. If UK versus USA happened, which fighters would you pick for both sides? Well, the US haven't got a heavyweight that I would pick. Actually, no. Take that back. Take that back. Let's make a fun fight here. Jarrell Miller versus, what's a fun fight? It was supposed to be Derek Chisora, but that didn't happen. Trying to think of what we've got. Benavidez class is Mexican American. Benavidez versus Boazzi. That's a tough fight, man. That's a really, really tough fight. That fight there is brutal. When you think of how tough and violent that fight would be, that fight there is brutal. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing, yeah? Just for jokes. Any of the Charlo brothers versus Chris Eubank Jr. Just for the jokes of it. Like, just fuck it. Let's just do it. Like the press conference will be pay-per-view, the fight won't deliver. But let's do it. I don't know. I have to think about that. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of that. Because in my head, I was thinking like promotional companies versus promotional companies. Because there's a lot of talk about Matchroom versus Golden Boy, and those matchups happen and look good. The UK doesn't have many world champions, does it? A lot of fun fights, but not many world champions. All right, guys, last couple of questions. Last couple. We've been going for an hour, 20 minutes. Sazad Mia, get in there, Ade, my son. Loving your channel. Keep it up, bro. Thank you. And you know, on that, Barrios versus Ben could be fun at 147 pounds. Thank you very much. I will try and keep up the channel. Ade, any news on the next challenge? You thought about something like an Ironman? An Ironman, I think I could. You know, I'm actually doing. I don't know if you guys know, I did a coconut water fast. So I only drank coconut water. This was a couple of weeks ago for 3 days, just coconut water, which was hard. But that wasn't really a physical challenge. That was just more of a mental. I am trying to do a 5K in under 20 minutes at the moment, which is proving quite difficult. The knees can't handle it. The fucking head can't handle it. The legs can't handle it. But we are trying to do it. I did it today in the gym in 27 minutes. So I'm so far off, but I think we're going to get it done. So we'll see. Mate, Aiden, the question I always ask myself, my man, why in such a manly sport do so many boxers seem so sensitive? I just think it's because they know how hard it is. They know how dangerous it is. And they see people like myself that have never really boxed saying things about them. And it just annoys them because their take is, you couldn't do it. That's their take, right? Which annoys me because boxers watch other sports and critique other sports stars. How many boxers I know fucking tweet about footballers? You can't play football. What are you talking about a footballer for? But I don't know, man. They're so sensitive. Like, I get a lot of stick from boxers. I'm like, calm down. Like, calm down. Jesus Christ. All right. This last one, because I gotta go. But it's been fun. It's been fun. I've been watching you for a while, brother. Your growth and success is inspiring. Hope to cross paths one day. God bless. Love that. Love that. Guys, thank you so much as well for the super chat. Guys, I need a favor before you go. Don't go. Hit the like button. I don't know what it means, but supposedly for the YouTube, the algorithm, it all helps. So if you can, hit the like button, and we will see each other again next Thursday, 8 p.m. We're going to go live next Thursday. Some of you might prefer the Sundays, but we could go live twice a week. We could do all that. Who knows? But next Thursday, 8 p.m., we're going to go live, but there will be videos throughout the week anyway, as we get ready for one of the biggest heavyweight rematches we've ever seen. Peace and love.